Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And it's time, Larson. Although, don't you feel kind of silly right now? Because in the span of one article, we've already been taken out of the race for people whose opinions on pro wrestling are hotly anticipated by Andreas Hale, who dropped his B grade on Crown Jewel Perth. He got the scoop over those other guys, Dave Meltzer, and those other guys, Steven Larson. So why are we even doing this today?
Well, we need content for Friendo.
We need content.
We need content. And here's the thing. Yes, Andreas Hale, hats off to him, got his grades up for Crown Jewel mere hours.
Hot and fresh.
Like 3 hours after the show.
So hot and fresh.
And that's commendable.
Yes.
And
admirable.
And I'm happy for Andreas Hale that he's established himself as the freshest ratings for WWE pay-per-views.
Dude, even if we did our star ratings at the tail end of our review, wouldn't have mattered.
Still not the freshest.
It's still not the freshest.
But I think, here's what I think there's still something to strive for us, and that's still to be hotter and fresher than those other guys.
Okay, all right. Not to be number one, just to be hotter and fresher than those other guys.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Which I think we're going to be today because we've got our star ratings here for Crown Jewel Perth. It's only a day later. So let's go ahead and dive into them, Larson. First up, we had the opener, Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight. What did you give this match? Star rating.
First of all, I was pretty disappointed that considering this was a street fight, neither of the participants wore jeans.
Okay.
That's a bit of a prerequisite, I feel like. At least one competitor should be wearing some denim.
Yeah, I agree with
First.
that.
Second of all...
Or it's Australia, so like khakis.
Sure. Second of all, as street fights go, this was a bit on the tepid side. It wasn't terribly... I don't want to use the word extreme because I don't feel like a lot of street fights are really extreme, but there wasn't a whole lot of the standard street fight stuff. There's a couple... there was a cricket paddle. Mm-hmm. There was a couple tables. Mm-hmm. There was a stop sign.
Yeah.
The main thing I pulled away from this match, and one of the things I primarily enjoyed, was the story as it relates to Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. They're doing a pretty good job with that. The match wasn't bad, but apart from like maybe the last 5 minutes, that was the most interesting stuff. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was fine in terms of pace and length. Pretty typical Roman Reigns stuff here. Deliberately paced, given plenty of time to breathe. Was it the most enthralling street fight? No, but it was relatively entertaining.
Kind of copy-paste everything you said, including your star rating. I'll just add this. I really appreciate the outcome. I think it does wonders for Bronson Reed.
We can agree on that as well. And
the post-match angle was really, really good. I like that. But, yeah, like you said, the match itself, Roman walks a lot during his matches.
There was a lot more gaga from Roman in terms of getting the crowd involved than we've seen in previous matches.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said. In fact, there were a lot of the same points I was going to make, so we could just move on to the next one. I gave it 3.5 stars as well.
All right, let's move on to the first of 2 Crown Jewel Championship matches. This one saw Stephanie Vaquer defeat Tiffany Stratton. Steve, what'd you give this one?
I gave it the same as the opener, 3.5. I think I gave it a 3.5 star rating, and they did that in half the time. I thought that the match was good, the wrestling was good, there was a lot of good stuff going on. I was, you and I have talked about this quite a bit. I was surprised at the clean nature of the outcome of the match. I thought it was the correct outcome, so I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was a very, very good match, but it didn't really elevate beyond very, very good.
There was something about the first half of this match that felt a little off to me. I felt like the segment, especially at the beginning, where Tiffany had to keep up with Stephanie's kind of technical wrestling prowess, wasn't the crispest. It wasn't as seamless as I'm guessing they were hoping it would be.
Sure.
And that aspect of it felt a little clunky in the beginning. By the end of the match, it picked up. They established a good rhythm. It was short, And even at the 10-minute length, I felt aspects of it were kind of undercooked in terms of how the match was laid out.
Sure.
I was actually a little bit underwhelmed ultimately by this match. Like, Stephanie Vecchier's great. She's awesome. She's a fantastic wrestler. And I think in the right type of match, Tiffany could put on really good matches too.
Sure.
But I just felt like the chemistry maybe wasn't there. A little bit of a mismatch of styles. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
Something about it just felt a little off to me.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. This is the match everybody's talking about here. John Cena versus AJ Styles. They went 27 minutes and 10 seconds. My goodness gracious. Second longest match.
Second longest. Yeah. You know, if you want a deeply moving pro wrestling story with a lot of emotion, a lot of drama in terms of story beats and who's going to win, this isn't necessarily the match for you, because that's not what this match was trying to be. This match was a celebration of not just John Cena's career and his previous rivals, but also kind of the start of AJ Styles' retirement tour, a celebration of all that he's accomplished during the course of his career. And, you know, it's kind of, in certain respects, an easy thing to do, to start doing other people's moves and get the crowd excited. But considering the references and the connections they have to these wrestlers involved in this match, it was a little bit more than just that.
Sure.
Specifically when Cena did the Sister Abigail, you know, that was a pretty moving moment in this match. It was a lot of fun. In the end, I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was really, really good. Wildly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, I agree with. I gave it the exact same star rating, and I just don't want to undersell the history between these guys, their relevance in the industry over the past 20 years. You know, you mentioned emotions at the beginning, and this is a different type of emotion, but yeah, when, you know, from Cena writing AJ's intro, to, like you said, the Sister Abigail shout, the Kazarian shout, you know, the Undertaker stuff. This match it is so incredibly rare that you would get a match with so much history between the opponents that all the shout outs and homages are so earned and welcome. It's one thing to shout out people if it's 2 people who don't have any history, 2 people who haven't been in the industry very long, whatever. But these guys have earned it, and there is nothing but love between these 2 guys in the ring, and the whole crowd was into it. I've never seen a match that just sort of, I don't know, meant so much because of the 20 years between these 2 guys. And what they mean to the industry. So I gave it 4.5 as well. I thought it was just a really wonderfully wrestled match as well.
Yeah.
It's on my short list for match of the year simply because of the good vibes. I mean, and for a match to have so much to it based off of good vibes is actually pretty crazy. But yeah, I love this match to death. I really did. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let's talk about the tag match, which saw Io Sky and Rhea Ripley defeat Asuka and Kairi Sane. What'd you give this one, Steve?
I gave it straight up 4 stars. You know, I thought it was a really, really wonderfully wrestled match. I'm really enjoying the story between everybody in this. I thought it had the appropriate outcome. I do think that it probably could have been elevated past 4 stars if they had focused a little bit towards the finish on, and I mentioned this during the review, on Asuka and how that finish really played out and what she thought about Kairi eating that pin. But no, I thought this was a really wonderfully wrestled match. I like the story. Might have used a little bit more drama, but can't really complain too much about it.
I'm not too far off. I went 3 3/4, and I agree with you. I think it would have been higher 4-star territory if they really got into the dynamics between Kairi and Asuka as it related to the finish of the match. If we have a good, interesting story beat or a good moment there, yeah, then we're talking 4 stars and up. Can't go about the quality of the wrestling. Obviously not. We got 4 world-class wrestlers in the ring. Just if there was something with that last story beat. Something, give us some little inkling about where we're going in the future would have been nice, but otherwise, really good match.
Yeah.
Lastly, main event: Seth freaking Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship. This is a very kind of old school match in a lot of ways, working body parts. And I thought it was for the most part really well executed. The outcome was spot on. Seth needed to win this match, and they did it in a way where there's enough wiggle room that Cody could be like, you can't feel good about this. Mm-hmm. Superficially it seems like, all right, this should erase all of Seth's doubts about his ability to beat Cody, but the door is open a little bit there to still explore that if they choose to do that down the line. I give it 4 stars. I thought it was really good.
I went a little bit higher. I went 4.5 stars. I thought it was an excellent match. I thought using the watch was really good. Seth doing it on his own. I include the Heyman breakdown to Braun and Bronson saying, this means everything basically. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna go help him. And on top of that, you add in a coast to coast headbutt.
Never seen that before.
We also got a near pinfall or near finish with a figure 4 pin, which is is probably my favorite way to pin somebody.
It's an easy pop for you, easy.
It really is. They're really speaking to me in this match, man. But no, yeah, it was a great match, dude. It was an awesome match. 4.5 stars.
Really good stuff.
There you go. Anyways, we want to know what the friendos think, so drop your star ratings in the comments below. Let us know what you guys thought. What was your match of the night, etc., etc. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. Tell your friends. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.